Yo, what is good, guys? Welcome back to another video, man. The stock market is looking okay now. This rally is kind of continuing for some stocks like Meta, Google, Broadcom. We got some earnings coming out for Broadcom. A lot to talk about. Tesla is itching down lower, and it is looking like it is moving a little bearish. So we're going to be talking about that a little bit later. Amazon up 1%, and we got a lot more to talk about today, man. Without further ado, let's look at NVIDIA first, man, because NVIDIA itched up in the pre-market, but honestly sold off right away. Honestly, hopefully nobody got calls right at market open, because you would have cooked your contracts. With that being said, man, we did have a big push for Meta overall. And we had like two 5-minute candles that went up like 15 bucks, which is insane. And Meta is still rising to the top. So one level that I really want to watch is 690. 690 is going to be key. Past that 690, look at 695 to that 700. But honestly, man, Meta is itching up, and this one is one that I wanted to kind of cover first. Also, I also wanted to cover CoreWeave. I kind of covered it a little bit in yesterday's video, and honestly, man, the breakup from yesterday was insane. We went up over $20. Honestly, man, CoreWeave is kind of looking like the next NVIDIA. And if you guys don't remember NVIDIA back in the day, man, honestly, NVIDIA went parabolic. NVIDIA, Broadcom, we had some other stocks that were just going parabolic, and CoreWeave might be that next one. The premiums for the options are fucking amazing right now. And honestly, I don't recommend trading it unless you see a clear move. I mean, today, honestly, if you would have bought the dip right here, the premiums went down a little bit lower for some call options, and 147 all the way up to 166. That's almost another $20 move. You would have made a decent amount of money. So honestly, keep CoreWeave on your radar, and let's get into some news and see how the overall market certainty and everything is. So let's get started, man. This is for the people that want to take their trading to the next level. I made an option course. Everything that you guys need to know about trading options, how to become profitable, how to read charts, like literally everything, and even trading stocks in general. First link in the description below. Check it out if you guys want. Enjoy the video. So there's a Trump-tied Truth Social Bitcoin ETF. Edges closer to launch. Honestly, bro, there is a lot going on with Trump media and technology. You know, he has his own coin. He's making a Bitcoin ETF. It's honestly, man, just a lot of money. I'm not even gonna lie. We have Chinese airlines considered ordering hundreds of Airbus jets. So honestly, keep this on mind for Airbus overall. EU and US trade negotiators meet in Paris. So honestly, we are getting deals. And one thing that I really thought about, man, Trump is kind of pushing everybody to make deals by a certain date. And honestly, bro, it's going to make us see what all deals going to happen, and maybe let us see an outlook on tariffs overall, and let everybody see the long-term picture, because that's what everybody's really waiting on for the markets. And honestly, I think that's kind of why it's been pumping, because people are seeing that tariffs are going to come into play. One thing will be affected, consumer spending, you know, jobs, a lot of things like that will get affected. But once we get like an actual stable tariff for all countries, it's going to make the overall market kind of stabilize a little bit. And I'm kind of pumped up for that, because we can get back to a stable market. But I mean, honestly, for day traders, swing traders, this market is honestly phenomenal right now. Japan must pursue payment innovation as society becomes cashless. So honestly, people are going to, cashless, going to crypto, stuff like that. So keep this in mind overall. And then Apple stock got a downgrade today. But honestly, Apple stock isn't looking too bad. But honestly, the AI competition and stuff like that, man, there's honestly, Apple is falling down a decent amount with everything that they're doing. And they're not really, I mean, it kind of just seems like they're becoming, a second option basically. But at the same time, I think in America, iPhones are still pretty popular. I mean, honestly, the best thing that people use, and people will still chase it for the hype. But honestly, in China, we have other brands that are taking AI to the next level for phones overall. Honestly, man, I think Apple is not really ahead of that. But honestly, it can start in China. And honestly, just like in China, man, I think iPhone is like the third best phone there now. It used to be number one, but now other phones are taking them over with AI. And AI is just getting bigger and bigger. And honestly, people want that on their phones. But some more things and news overall. So Trump tariff moves. President Trump doubled the steel and aluminum tariffs to 50%, and it's effective today. This rattled markets, especially with concerns about trade tensions impacting global growth. Stocks dipped early due to the fears of retaliation, but honestly, mainly with China. Trump also extended a tariff pause on some Chinese goods until August 31st, which gave markets a bit of breathing room. But he is saying that it is extremely hard to make a deal with China. So it is adding uncertainty overall, because we are getting pumped up because people are thinking that there's going to be deals early. The tariff news boosted specific stocks like Nucor, NUE, and MP Materials, MP, which were early winners. We also seen stocks like Baba and stuff like that come up because of this. Economic data, man, we had some weak ADP job data. Disappointing private payroll numbers sparks concerns about economic slowdown, putting downward pressure on the stock futures. The JOLTS report a better than expected job openings and labor turnover survey. So Trump Media and Technology Group rose slightly, plus 0.48% to 2131 after announcing a 2.5 billion Bitcoin investment plan. But with that being said, man, let's get to some supports and resistance and maybe a potential for some plays tomorrow. So the overall SPY, man, it bounced between that 596 all the way up to that 598 level. So honestly, just see if it breaks above the 598 or breaks below the 596 level. If we break below, look at 595, 594.5, 594, all the way down to the 592.5, and then 590 flat. And then if we break past that 597 level, 598.5, 599, and then that 600 level. If we can finally break above that 600 level, we might get some bulls coming in, buying, just the buyers honestly taking over, or we might just bounce off that 600 and start bouncing lower. So honestly, keep SPY on your radar for tomorrow, especially making some decent plays, but just watch these two key levels first. And if we can break above them and or hold above them, you know, it might look pretty good. Next one is going to be Apple. We did get a downgrade. We did get a little bit of a rally though at first, all the way up to the 206.2 level, but honestly sold off quickly after that. With that being said, man, I think Apple might be able to maybe break down lower and or go up high. I think 203 is a little bit too high for Apple because I think it can keep on falling. So honestly, that's a gamble if you guys want to trade some options on that. But to the downside, man, 202.5, 202 flat, and then that 200 level. If we can break below that 200 level, man, watch that 200 level. You can probably play yourself a low call option there and then make a decent amount of money. But if we do start breaking to the upside, I will look at that 203.5, 204, 204.5, 205, and all the way up to that 206.5. We can break above that, might get 210 to that 215 level. NVIDIA, man, NVIDIA is looking okay, but honestly, man, I want to see if it breaks the highs of 142.5. Past that, look at 145, and then at 150 level, getting to some highs. To the downside from here, look at 141.4, 141, and then all the way down to that 140 level. If we break below that, man, we might see some downward movement. So 139.5, and then all the way down to like 135. But we did bounce off of that 140 level, so keep that in mind because we might get another bounce off of it either later on today. But I mean, we only have like an hour left of market, so honestly, from the last hour of market, we can either break up higher and or start selling off. So Palantir, man, honestly, bro, I've been seeing the same thing with Palantir. We either buy or sell, and today we sold a bunch today. We were kind of at a higher level for Palantir. I think 130 is kind of like a neutral level, kind of where it's just going to be trading at. So honestly, today we did have a big sell-off, but I mean, you could have bought the dip today at that 125, which would have been insane, and go up $5. That would have made you a decent amount of money today. With that being said, man, to the upside, look at 131.5, 132.5, 135, and then past that, look at the 140 level. But honestly, if we start falling down, which we kind of look like we kind of are, but honestly, I think we got to break that 130.20 level, but look at 130 first. If we break below that, look at 128.5, 127.5, and then 126 flat. And we kind of already bounced off of this one. So we bounce below this, look at 125, and then 120 to the downside for Palantir. Tesla, man. Okay, so this one I really wanted to talk about because Tesla's looking pretty bearish overall. And honestly, this big sell-off at market open didn't make it look better. And we kind of broke past a key level of that 333.5 level. And honestly, we're kind of on it right now. So honestly, watch the 333.5. We break below that, look at 330, 325, 320, 315, and that 300 level. To the upside, man, if we do start breaking upwards somehow, look at that 340, 345, 347.8, and that 350 level to the upside for Tesla, but it's not really looking too good. Bitcoin, man, we are looking a little bit more bearish with Bitcoin, but honestly, Bitcoin's honestly pretty hard to read. I'm not even gonna lie. Because I mean, we were all the way down to like the 103. Everybody thought it was going to sell off and then boom, spiked up and then started selling off again. Everybody thought it was going to keep on selling off and then boom. It is so confusing. But honestly, you can make a decent amount of money off of some MSTR options and or Coinbase. And if you guys don't want to risk that much money because it is like $1,000 to $2,000 for in the money plays, you guys can play iBit. And the plays is very, very cheap, very reliable. And honestly, for 2 weeks ahead, I mean, it's Wednesday, so like 1.5 week ahead, it's $129 for something that's in the money to $150. And that's not really too bad. And that's not too much money to risk. So if you guys want to risk less money and trade Bitcoin, iBit is a great ETF. And honestly, maybe sooner or later we'll be talking about DJT for this. But with that being said, man, I think the overall market is looking okay. Certainty is okay, but honestly, everybody's really waiting on trade deals. I think trade deals can make the markets go up higher. And if we get some great trade deals, we can break above that 600 and start looking healthy with the SPY overall, especially with certain stocks like NVIDIA, Amazon. Amazon's like the leader right now with AI and robotics, apparently. So honestly, man, stocks like that can get a very good push, Meta and other things like that. I think for Apple, man, I think we just need better news with their AI and the tariffs overall. Maybe if they get a tariff pause or something to help them out, that'd be great. But overall, man, comment down below what stocks you guys are trading, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.